lot more of his history here, but I've kind of condensed it a bit. He is currently with AMAC, which is the Association of Mature American Citizens. He's a senior fellow and also a trustee. He has graduated from Indiana University with a major in philosophy. He has also worked with the Social Security Administration in the anticipation of Medicare legislation, which did not occur. Anticipating retirement, George went into business for himself, working with large corporations and also small businesses. He says he experienced both success and failure and learned from both. And I think that's life in general. He retired and didn't like it, and I can't imagine why, because I think it's just wonderful. George joined AMAC, where he's been pleased to have a hand as they have grown from 40,000 to the approximate 1,300,000 memberships today. And he says his retirement continues to be a non-option. So help me welcome George. I'll sit out here and let you.
Yeah, some guy put all this stuff.
I know, a wall.
I'm going to talk tonight about the biggest theft in the history of America. Before I do that, I want to bring you greetings from Dan Weber. He comes to a lot of these meetings with me. He does a lot of them by himself. I do some by myself. But there isn't anything I do that I like any better than coming out and talking to members and potential members. And I can't help myself. How many are members of AMAC? I don't have much recruiting to do, do I? Thank you.
Just a little louder.
A little louder?
You want to use the mic?
I guess I should.
Yeah, we got plenty of cord here for you, George. Let me get it to
There's
you.
enough to hang me. I mean, no to it.
Well, that could happen either way. There you go.
All right. Where do I have to hold it?
I forgot mine.
That's good,
You
right
have
there.
yours on, but I forgot my hearing aids.
I've never done that more than once a week. Little history about Dan Weber. Ran a very successful insurance agency in Bohemia, New York, which is out on Long Island. But he retired. No, I won't trip. But he, like all of us, he decided it was time to retire, and he took a little survey, and anyway, they worked it out in the family, and the children bought the insurance agency. I think they got a really nice deal, and the interest rate was down towards zero, so the kids are pretty well set up. So Dan's going to retire. Judy's going to retire. Well, he wanted to join the seniors organization. And he just sort of figured it would be AARP. He hadn't thought about it, hadn't done any research or whatever. But he checked into them a little bit. Many of you will remember an entertainer by the name of Harry Belafonte. Beautiful singer, beautiful entertainer, but not one of us. Because he went down to Cuba and had a lot of nice things to say about Castro and a lot of really negative things to say about America. So Dan and Judy scratched AARP off their list. Then he started interviewing other senior organizations, quite a few, more than you realize, but none of them clicked. Not, just wasn't one where he said, gee, I'd really like to be a part of that. And he was frustrated. And he said something he never should have said. He said, somebody ought to start a seniors organization for people, conservatives. Well, I think the good Lord had already tapped him on the shoulder and said, Dan, Judy, you're in. Just to make sure, started checking with all his friends and relatives and business associates that he trusted, and almost 100% said, Dan, don't be stupid. Don't risk your retirement savings and your good retirement and all the things you've done. You're going up against AARP. They get umpteen million members. They get $100,000 to $200,000 a year from the federal government. They squash you like a bug. And Dan is pretty good about listening to advice. So he and Judy got together, and the next morning he announced, over here, you know what he announced? That we were going to have a seniors organization. I met him after I first moved to this area, and I had about my third meeting of going to the Tri-County Tea Party up in Lady Lake. Hadn't really met that many people yet, and here's this guy pops up on stage to make an announcement. Said, I've opened an office in Lady Lake, and I'm having an open house on Wednesday. And since I didn't want to retire, I thought, well, I'll go volunteer and do something. That'll be something interesting to do. Long story short, we hit it off. He went to the mountains. I think he got the better part of that deal. And I ran the Lady Lake office. I was in total control of the complete staff. Me. That's how we started AMAC in Lady Lake. And it's been really exciting to go from 40,000 to 1.3 million. And I'm really proud to be able to say I had a hand on one of those oars. But no one here should make any mistake. This is built because of Dan and Judy Weber. Their effort, their creativity, and they kept feeding a little more money and a little more money, and we got to do this. You know how that goes. Anybody that's been here in the business knows. You can eat up cash in a hurry. And then we got help from the most unlikely place in the world, Obama, called Obamacare. And we started sending out emails at 100, 200, 300,000 at a time. We started doing interviews with all the talk shows except the 2 or 3 big ones. We just couldn't afford to go to Rush in some of those. And we said, we're against Obamacare. It ought to be defunded, and we need your help. And the memberships came pouring in. Our biggest month, we did 32,000 new members in 1 month. And Obamacare helped us. That's ironic, isn't it? It really is ironic. But it wasn't just that. We had some of our fundamentals down pretty well. Excuse me. One of our fundamentals was we were perfectly willing to discuss any issue, to do research on any issue. If you came to us as a member and said, what about this or that? And we had the resource, we'd do something, we'd be involved in it. But we had a rule. It was a rule made for ourselves. All right, George, you go out and you do something about illegal immigration. You write up a paper. In this case, I wrote a book about anything. But I couldn't do anything with that until I concluded with solutions. That has made all the difference. Today, this last week has been one of the more exciting weeks. The chairman of the House Finance Committee wrote a personal letter to Dan Weber saying, please give us your perspective on what should go into this new health care bill. Think about it. We went from where nobody at the Congress would let us in the door because we were too small. And there's a psychological barrier that got crunched, and that was the barrier that happens when you go over $1 million.
Means votes.
Yeah. And so now we get a letter, and now it's a letter, personal letter from the chairman to Dan Weber, and we've had 2 meetings already, and we're going to come up with a bill, our proposal for a bill, or subject of the bill. And one of the things that we said is inviolate, not negotiable. Whatever you pass, in 3 years' time, it goes back to the states, and the Fed is out. I don't know whether we can get it through or not, but by golly, it's worth every ounce of effort we can put towards it, because that needs to be done. You're talking about the budgets and all this sort of thing, and how we gotta decrease government. Well, a nice place to start would be in the healthcare system. So, that's my intro to Dan Weber, and,
What committee is he on?
excuse me,
What committee was he on to get?
finance. Yeah. So here's the deal. I'm going to talk to you about another area tonight. And I'm telling you straight up, eyeball to eyeball, I'm here for one purpose. I want to make you so angry tonight that you're going to say, I agree, somebody's got to do something, and maybe there's some little things that each of us can do, maybe there's some big things that certain of us can do, but we've got to get excited and agitated and take some actions, because of the treason. You see it? Treason, the deliberate dumbing down of our nation. And when I first say that, most people, do we have any teachers in here?
Right here.
Any teacher, anybody in the school board, or any, there's nothing different, I just was curious.
I'm retired.
My daughter's a teacher.
27 years.
So, pretty strong words. Let's see who the traitor is. John Dewey,
John Dewey, yeah.
1859, 1952. What was his? He was ingrained with the feeling that capitalism was bad, communism, socialism, whatever name you put to it, was good, and he thought that's how we should go with socialism, but he knew he couldn't get it through the American people. He also knew if he could get the children young enough, he could come up through. Was he alone? Oh, boy, I wish he was.
He also developed the Dewey Decimal System for the libraries, didn't he?
Now, I dare say when you were teaching, I don't know what grades you taught or whatever, but most of the people in this room were taught phonics. 44 sounds that we learned how to sound out. And on the basis of those 44 sounds, we could teach children how to sound out a word, say it correctly, maybe a little extra effort to learn the meaning, but meaning sometimes that was obvious by what we were doing. So it's all well and good to say you're going to get rid of the children, but how are you going to go about doing that? And they had the easiest, most destructive
father of progressive education, wasn't
He is billed as that,
he? He was out of the.
but he was never worthy of that title. His whole purpose was the destruction of the system.
Was at the Teachers College in Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah, he was interested, but he lived in other places too, but I can't, that part I can't rattle off at you. Let me read you from a textbook. Dewey's philosophy had evolved from the Hegelian idealism to socialist materialism, and the purpose of his experimental school was to show how education could be changed to produce little socialists and little collectivists instead of little capitalists and little individuals. It was expected that these little socialists, when they became voting adults, would dutifully nullify our Constitution and change Americans' economic system into a socialist one. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So, I don't know who the original author of whole word as a way of reading, I don't know who that was, but I know who some of the successors are. In 1991, the authors of Whole Language, What's the Difference?, gave their own definition of reading. They wrote, whole language represents a major shift in thinking about the reading process. Rather than viewing reading as getting the words, whole language educators view reading as essentially a process of creating meanings. It is a transaction, not an extraction of the meaning from print, in the sense that the reader-created meanings are often a fusion of what the reader brings and what the text offers. And if you can understand what I just read, you're way ahead of me.
I can remember when I was in elementary school back in the 40s, my mother and aunt both taught. My aunt would close the door and teach phonics. That's the only way you can learn to read properly.
Oh, yeah. And well, there's more to this, I'll leave it off. Point being is that with whole word, some really interesting things happen. One of the ones that I had the biggest time saying, well, this must be some smoke and mirrors and some attempt to just go way off in a direction, and that was the whole word education is responsible for the incredible increase of dyslexia in our young people. And what do the whole word educators say? It's your fault as a parent. It's genetics. It's everything they can think of. I have a son. When I learned all this in the last couple of years, I have a son I am convinced got hurt badly by the whole word process. I have a grandson, Treason. They're coming to visit. They're in California. They're coming to visit us next week. And I'll be very surprised if Treason knows how to read. So it's all good and economic. Just talk about the whole. When it comes down personal.
Can I interject something?
Sure.
I'm 89 years old.
But you're older than I am.
Well, 89 years old. I wasn't taught phonics. I was taught sight reading, and I've always suffered all my life up until I learned phonics.
Yeah. How many times have you heard that?
What? I couldn't hear it.
That you suffer
Oh, yeah.
when you don't learn. And you, whose pain are we feeling? Well, we hurt our kids, we hurt our grandchildren.
Well,
I didn't set out to do that with my grandchildren, I'll tell you. I love the daylights out of them. Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, Mrs. But when did you say they started teaching whole
first proposed in the mid-1800s, but went nowhere. But I'll say this for the socialists in this country. In fact, I'll say it about socialists in the whole world. They never keep trying. You bat them down, they spring up over here. It began to get traction in about 1920, 1930 here, because that's about the same time that a whole bunch of academics said, you know, we've read Rousseau, and we think he's got the truth. I know you're in favor of Locke, and what did they just say? They think being progressive / communist / socialist is a better way to get the greatness out of America. And those of us that think otherwise understand. You put a group of children, just the small number we have here, I can't look out at those students and say, which one has that intangible? Which one of those kids is going to they won't know, they'll just be in themselves. But there'll be one, there'll be two, there'll be three. And that's what American education was always about, is directed at individuals. I want one thing, since our esteemed person here brought up the Federalist Papers. You're not going to believe this. I have a Federalist paper in my hand, but I'm going to use it for a different reason. We had the Constitutional Convention. Now we needed 11 states to become a nation. And the big state that had serious doubts about whether it was a good system was New York. So it didn't make any difference if we get enough states. We'd still be two countries, because you'd have the north of New York and then you'd have the south of New York. So Hamilton, J. Madison put together 85, isn't it 85 Federalist Papers?
What was the last one?
Now, quick question for you. Who read them? A bunch of farmers and shopkeepers and whatever. And the answer is the farmers read them. They had excellent schooling because they got it from their parents or mostly their mothers, and the Bible was their textbook. And they could read and they could understand, and they read the Federalist Papers. And by being able to read them, they became convinced that this was going to be the right thing. And New York passed by one vote. Am I right? I think it was pretty sure it was one vote. Because they knew how to read. I'm not going to do it because I sense we're getting a little long on time. But
They were 95% literate in those days.
yeah,
95%.
he's exactly right. He's
14%.
exactly right. So, if a bunch of dumb farmers spread out across New York could read them, understand them, and be persuaded by them, and debate them at the tavern on Saturday night or wherever, or in church, do you honestly know any high school seniors that I could hand this to and they could read it and understand it? And I see a bunch of, and you're exactly right. We tested it a little bit, we want to do a little bit more. We need to do something. That's my point. We need to do something. See it? Why Johnny can't read? Anybody want to take a guess when this was first published? If I had more time, I'd open it up and make one of you read it. I'll do it for you. 1925. Good people already knew that this whole word stuff was trash, was bad. And if I start turning over these things rapidly, as I'm going to do in a minute, one of them says, I'm to blame. It happened in a big way on our watch. Why Johnny can't read. As Rudolph Flesch writes in Why Johnny Can't Read, ever since 1500 BC, whenever an alphabetic system of writing was used, people had learned to read by simply memorizing the sound of each letter in their alphabet. Except in the 20th century, we have thrown 3,500 years of civilization out the window. That's not exactly mincing around with words, is it? I won't read all the rest of it. There, you want to pick this up and glance at the other of the readings. So, also about 1925, a group of highly educated people got together and said, we can't control this thing unless we mandate attendance at schools, and some government entity runs those schools. And why would they say that? Curriculum. There's no mystery here. Curriculum. And who controls the curriculum now? Well, it used to be the state. But starting with Lyndon Johnson, aided immensely by every president since, including Bush 43. And this is what I want to say to you tonight. The only solution is to abandon the public school system. We can't do it tonight. We'll come back. Don't ask us to come because we're like a bad penny. We'll show up. But it's got to happen. Now the neat thing is, it can happen one family at a time. Anybody homeschool? One, two, one. So that's an option. Florida has more homeschoolers than any other state in the union. I haven't read the laws yet, but what I read says we have the law most favorable to homeschool. So we've got that advantage. We've got charter schools, we've got parochial schools, we've got those things going for us. If I had children or grandchildren, I'm past tense now, I blew it. I didn't get this knowledge soon enough. Get them out of the public school system. You don't have to march, you don't have to do anything, you just have to quietly pick up your books and go to where they'll be taught properly. It really is just that simple. I'm going to close fast. Let's start with first grade and go all the way through senior 12 high school. I can take you through the calculations, the number of class hours per day when they're actually studying something. you come up with approximately 9,600 hours of study, 1 through 12. Somebody put me out of my misery, explain to me how you can send a student through 12 years. They cannot fill out an application, they cannot read, they cannot do simple math. What in the blue blazes did they do all day?
Tests.
Not all schools
And
like
nobody has a
that.
good answer, except we all know the answer. They
But not
play
all
dance
schools-
around the maypole and so on.
Not all schools are like that.
Oh, I'm not saying that, but enough of them are. We've
You're
got
only as strong as your
to
weakest
take it
link.
seriously. I didn't hear that.
What did you say, Mark? You're only as strong as your weakest link. So if you have schools who are putting those people out as their products, then that's the product that's
May I
gonna
ask
be.
you
Wait, let me
this?
get her first.
Okay, look, you're talking about homeschool. Well, my family is paying $10,000 per student in a private school. We can't afford
You
that.
can do it at home for nothing.
Everybody's working.
Well,
Well, but that's real life.
Nobody can afford.
What if somebody, let me think of somebody, maybe somebody like an AMAC came along and addressed that specifically? And not everybody that has money is, they're just not comfortable saying, I'm gonna teach homeschooling. They just, I've talked to them, you see the barriers go up. Go ahead.
I don't believe in homeschooling. I think they should go, and part of the education is to assimilate people so they can get together and grow up as a community. I will say this, since I've been in Florida, I have never seen so many kids out in the streets during a school day, and they can't all be homeschooled. They need truant officers and supply either get after their parents to get them to school. Get after it, it's a problem. Children come home, high school children come home, they don't have one book in their hand. My fourth graders had 3 things to do at night, and I didn't have any parents complaining.
She's put her finger on the issue. The issue is, can you amend the present system or reform it, whatever the right word is,
Yes.
to accomplish what we want? Or do you end up where I did, which is saying we gotta
The
do?
reformers have been purged out of the public education system.
Well, the deck is stacked because, I'll give you an example. I interviewed a superintendent of a very large county school system not too far from here. I'm not gonna go any, I don't wanna give him away. Super nice man. He sees no way to do anything except teach out of the textbook that favors Islam over Christianity, that will allow his teachers to teach Islam, but will not allow them to even entertain the word Christianity. And he's saying he does this because the state, I guess Board of Education, I was listening, I wasn't challenging him. Well, that's scary and it's sad. I have a textbook.
Is
They
this
select free.
Florida, it's a county not very far from here.
Cotton, Florida.
Yeah,
But what I see, I don't like.
yeah. Well,
what can you do about it? As a teacher, what can you do about it?
Well, you need to start at the top of the administration. You have too many people that are politically involved in administrating education. They need to be educators. They need to know what's going on in the schools.
Okay, let me tell you what I'm doing. I have this book in my hand right here, cost me $20. You know what it is, $20.
I don't have that book, but I got one.
We had an executive order put out by the president where we nullified LBJ's,
Johnson,
what was it?
the Johnson Amendment.
Johnson. Eliminated that where you can't talk about politics from the pulpit. I'm trying to get this book in Sunday school. Why can't we, if they won't put it into the education system all over, why can't we put this in the churches to teach the children?
We can put it in the church, it takes a lot of education.
No.
Let me finish my thought, because I've been down that road a little bit. The Johnson Amendment said that you can't get in the pulpit and say, vote for her and don't vote for her. Why did he do that? Because in Houston, the pulpits were tearing him up. LBJ had a lot of persuasive ability, as we call it. That's sort of what, Do you know how many suits have actually gone to court?
Zero.
Why? Because the courts they won't even hesitate. That's unconstitutional. So IRS, there's a church in San Diego. I don't know how often they're doing it now, but when they first started doing this, they did it once a month. They'd have blatantly illegal servants film it, send it to the IRS and say, come get us, put the cops on it. IRS, I guess, takes weekends off or something. I don't know. It never came out. They couldn't. Well, all right, if it makes us feel better to get rid of it by law, because the one thing IRS does better than almost any other department of government is intimidate. I don't want to mess with them. I've been through an audit, it was just 15 years ago. They finally got an extra $600 out of me. It scares me. I mean, I go to my taxes with fear and trepidation every year. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I was listening to what this lady was talking about
I can't hear you,
homeschooling.
ma'am.
And homeschooling, I used to agree with her that it was not a good thing for kids socially and all that. But there are so many groups that the kids can go to. They can even participate
I
in the
understand
public
that,
school sports and proms and all that. There is no need for them to not have that socialization
Let me
just
give you-
because they're
I
homeschooled.
give you
understand that,
One
yeah.
more area to fret about, and I won't give you any time to respond because I'm out of time. That's an easy way to cover sensitive areas. I'll present.
Sorry.
Money.
Yeah.
What county? We're in Lake County, right?
Yep.
Lake County gets a big check from the federal government. That's because they really like us. And there are no strings attached, right?
Wrong.
But so, all right, it's easy for you to sit here and say, kick the dickens out of the feds and get them out of here. Well, where's the money coming from?
You follow the.
Then you got people like me that are completely idiotic, and they say, while you're at it, get the state out of it.
I agree.
Lake County will do theirs, and Sumter County will do theirs.
Make
and so
education
on.
local again.
Make education local
again.
again. Now, but financially, can it work?
Yes.
Yes, it
Yes.
could, if this county decided to do that.
Now,
I'm
Let
convinced.
me finish my thought here, because it's gonna shake some heads here. Let's rank the states 1 through 50 in the nation, and the amount that they spend per child on education. What do you think number 50, the worst, the least spent, is?
Mississippi. Alabama.
What is it?
Mississippi.
Mississippi,
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Louisiana,
Alabama.
You got too much pie, I mean.
I have my priorities.
Yeah. New Hampshire.
Really?
Now, listen, gets worse. What state in the Union has neither a sales tax
Oh, boy.
nor an income tax?
New Hampshire.
You already know the answer now, don't you?
I knew that.
New Hampshire?
New Hampshire.
Yep.
Teachers come out of Massachusetts to work in New Hampshire, they take roughly a 33% cut in pay. But they come up, because they're like you, they want to teach. You get in this for the rest of it, they want to teach. All right. But now we get down to the solemn truth. Would it be accurate to say that New Hampshire would be last in SAT scores?
Probably
I
not.
bet not.
You already know I'm very devious.
Oh,
They're number one,
huh.
because, to the point made around the room here, local. If you spend your money wisely, and you go back to teaching, reading, writing, arithmetic, you've got reading, you can make life exciting in a classroom. You can reignite that thing that my teachers beat me up with. You can go any place you want to. I'll give you the book that'll take you there.
I
My
used to
parents
tell my
seconded
kids
that. I had to read books at home.
I used to tell my children that you can travel with a book.
And once they get excited about that, their whole life changes.
Do they have a property tax in
I believe that answer is
You
yes.
have to find a way someplace.
I mean, there is some money, they have taxes, but my only concern was taxes and my grandchildren's education, I'd pack us up and move them. Plus, it's summertime, it's very scenic, we won't talk about that other season.
If you talk about money, I kept mine on taxes. I spent $3,500 a year on my own money for my classroom, because I got about $200, and I taught in Virginia,
Yeah,
not in
and
the.
there's a bunch of teachers
Yeah.
that are carbon copies of this wonderful thing.
My daughter's in the same thing.
Oh, yeah, you have to.
So, this next section is difficult. Really. I'm a Korean War veteran.
Thank you.
I don't wear my hat very often. I'm embarrassed when somebody comes up. But I'll tell you what, I didn't do what I did. So my children suffer this. And for the remaining days of my life, I'm going to do everything I know how to do. I have the assets of AMAC behind me. I've got to raise several $1 million worth of money, but there are people in this country that have money that have the same concerns that we have around this room. I'll find them. And we're going to change, not totally, we're not going to, but we're going to make an important change in the psyche of American regarding our education. Thank you.
God bless you. Let us know how we can help, George. When you pull the trigger on this thing, let us know how we can help. If you need some help from us, let us know.
Okay, Corey, you got that blank check? We would love it, those of you who are not AMAC members, we would love it. I know you got a mortgage and farm and reduced to $16 a year per couple.
Let me tell you, the discount that we've been experiencing at Office Depot
Oh, my gosh.
for, I don't know how many years now, couple years,
Pays for sure.
is phenomenal. And there's also other discounts from other vendors that AMAC has, and there's more coming on board. I remember when I started out, there wasn't any in the beginning.
Yeah.
Now there's screens full of them.
You have any information on?
See that lady back there? Just,
AMAC.com.
you're welcome to go back and talk to her, but hang on to your billfold at all times. That's my wife Corey, she's got all the forms and the brochures. So,
I've got my AMAC card right here.
hey, get me.
Have you ever read the book, None Dare Call It Treason?
Yeah.
That book, and there's a follow-up, None Dare Call It Treason, 25 years later, talks all about John Dewey and the whole education thing.
Oh, we're not the only ones. There's a lot of
It
literature
is
out.
amazing
But we haven't gotten to the
that
point
they
where
were
we put enough
using the
pressure on
public
the
schools.
places
It's
to
called
make
None
meaningful
Dare
change.
Call
That's
It
what we're trying to
Treason.
do.
They call it conspiracy.
No, treason. None Dare Call
Two
It
of them.
Treason. And then the second one is None Dare Call It Treason 25 years later. And it tells how they were trying to get socialism in and all the different systems. You know, the legislature, the judicial, the education.
Yeah, I list all that, because my family was a bunch of teachers, college presidents and all, but we never got involved in that kind of stuff.
But, and you know what it is? It's insidious. It's little things.
Yeah.
You know, like he said, the whole word. And I don't know if everybody knows what that even is, but I knew
You
it.
really can't learn to read with all words, I mean, you have to learn phonetic.
Yeah. But the other, and they tried it with math. I heard a lady on TV once
Oh,
talk about whole math.
I had a college.
So how did George do tonight?
The new
He was
math.
wonderful.
Yeah. You need any help breaking down all these props you got?
No, but you do me a favor, Facebook.
I had a college teacher that taught the new math. It was the waste of time I ever took.
Well, where is it?